Alright, so we are now on the video on echo. This is your topic on sound. Very important topic because the questions on this topic are very common. So let us understand how the questions on echo are solved. And if you like the videos, if you find the videos on this channel informative, please do subscribe to the channel and like the videos which you are watching. So depth of water beneath a boat or a ship. These questions are very common. So let us understand what is happening here. So you have a boat which is floating on the sea. And what is the boat trying to do? The boat is trying to find, the objective of the boat is to find the depth of the sea. The depth of the sea. That's your objective. This is what you have to do. So what is the boat doing to find the depth of the sea? It is sending a signal towards the seabed. Seabed means the sea floor. So if you see the transmitter here, it is sending a signal towards the seabed. Now the seabed will reflect the signal, which will bounce back and travel back to the ship, right? So the signal is coming to the seabed, bouncing and reaching the ship again, right? So what is happening? The ship is timing the whole process. Say that the time T is the time taken for the signal to travel all the way down and reach all the way up. Say that the depth of the sea is T. The depth of the sea is T. So how much of a distance has this signal traveled in the time T? So in the time T, how much distance the signal has traveled? This time T is the time taken for the signal to start from the transmitter and come back to the receiver. Time taken for this whole process. Go to the seabed, come back, right? In the time T, the distance traveled is how much? 2 times of T, because it is going down D, coming up D. 2D. In the time T, the signal travels a distance 2D. So what is the speed of the signal? What is the speed? Speed is, let us write the formula for the speed and input all the values in the formula. Speed is distance over time. You know the speed of the sound in the water. Let us call it V. Speed of the sound in the water, we have just learned it is 1420 meters per second, or roughly you can say 1500 meters per second or 1400 meters per second. Let us call it V. So V is equal to, how much is the total distance traveled? 2D over T. So how much is the depth? How much is the depth? D is equal to half VT. If you know the speed of the sound in the water, if you know the time taken for the signal to leave the transmitter and bounce back and be received by the receiver, if you know that time interval, you can calculate the depth of the seabed. The formula is simple. D is equal to, depth is half VT, where V is the speed of the sound in the water. So let us understand the theory of it. Here it is. So what is happening? To find the depth D of the seabed below the transmitter, the time T taken by each pulse to travel from the transmitter to the seabed and back to the microphone is measured, right? So the sound is going from the transmitter to the seabed and back to the microphone, which is the receiver. Microphone is the receiver, is measured. In time T, the distance traveled by the pulse is Vt, where V is the speed of the sound in the water. So the depth of the seabed below the transmitter, D, will be half times the distance traveled by the pulse in time T, which is half Vt. And we have just derived this whole thing here. It is written quite complicated, but if you look at what we have done, you'll understand it very well. In the time t, the distance traveled is 2d. From the speed time formula, speed is distance over time. Speed we know, if we say the speed is v, distance traveled is 2d over t. You need not remember d is equal to half vt square. Even if you derive this formula quickly in the examination, you can quickly do it, right? Those of you who are bright enough, who do not want to remember the formula, you can derive it quickly. So let us take up a past paper kind of a question, IGCSE question. A ship uses pulse of sound to measure the depth of the sea beneath the ship. The sound pulse is transmitted into the sea, and the echo from the seabed is received after 54 milliseconds. The speed of the sound in the sea water is given to you. Calculate the depth of the sea beneath the ship. So either you use the formula, if you remember the formula, you can use the formula d is equal to half vt. You directly use the formula half times the speed, which is 1500, times the time taken. Or if you remember the formula, you can do this way. Or if you do not remember the formula, use the speed formula. Speed, you know, is distance over time. That's the formula for the speed that we have written here. Speed is how much? 1500. How much is the distance moved? Distance moved by the signal is, it goes to the bottom and then comes back up. So if the depth is d, the distance traveled is 2 times d. So the numerator becomes 2d and the time is 54. So d becomes equal to half times 1500 times 54. So either you do the first way if you remember the formula, or you do the second way if you do not remember the formula. In both ways you are getting half times speed times time, half times speed times time. You can solve this and this will give you your answer. Alright, we'll be taking up more and more questions on echo when we'll be solving the past paper questions on sound. And the next thing that we are going to do in sound is take up IGCSE past paper questions, and you can also watch a lot of supplementary videos on a lot of experiments that are involved in this chapter. Thank you.